What's going on, guys? This is Miasin. So unless you've been living under a rock, you would know that right now the best decks are Tearlaments and Splite. However, that doesn't mean that the other decks are not a threat, because Mathmech-based is extremely terrifying, can do a lot. It can summon his 6k towers that honestly most decks can't even really deal with, and even if they can get to an out, you might have some other negates in the form of Danmari in the graveyard to negate the card that would get rid of your towers. So in other words, you can apply so much pressure with basically just one or two cards. And you can, of course, incorporate a lot of hand traps in this deck. So it is another really good kind of mid-range to combo deck. It really depends on how you really see this deck. Obviously, if you're going for the Deco Talk or Heat Soul route every single time, and you're not really trying to turbo out the big Link 6 monster with like 6k materials, then I guess you could say it's more of a mid-range deck. Today, I will be showing you guys 4 combos on this deck. Tomorrow will be the deck profile, but of course, you need to like this video, smash the freaking like and subscribe button. You already know if this video can get to 1,000 likes, I will be making a live stream on this deck, and now let's get right into it. Alright, so the one card combo that is actually insane would be Picari or Achichi. They're pretty much the same thing. So it's a one card that basically just kind of does whatever you want. So you can end on Super Factorial with the Link 6 monster. It's pretty insane. So you're going to be searching the When I First Met You. Basically, this card can reveal a Cyrus monster with 2300 attack from your extra deck to your opponent. And then you search an Adignister monster with the same attribute. So by revealing Heat Soul, which is, you know, it fits the criteria, I can search Achichi, which is a fire monster. Now I'll be making Dark Infant, and I'll be going for the field spell. Activate it, and then special summon my Achichi. Achichi typically tries to search for the Doyon here. However, if you hard druid, then you can search for the Doshin, which is the Earth attribute. And you'll be going special summon the Doyon, Chainlink 1, Cyber's Wicked, Chainlink 2, Doyon, recycle back the Picari because we've never special summoned it with the field spell, so we can still do that. And the Cyber's Wicked is going to be banishing the Dark Infant so that you can search for your deck for Bururu, which is a Foolish Burial on summon and a level 3 tuner. Now you summon Splash Mage, but you don't use its effect yet. You use the graveyard effect of Doyon since you linked it off for a Cyber's monster. Recycling back the When I First Met You, which is going to be a follow-up for next turn. And then you go AI land, summon the Bururu, send the Danmari. And now the Splash Mage is going to be triggering to revive back the Doyon. And as you can see, this is where making the When Pegasus Adignister is completely free. So yeah, summon it, and then you're going to be going for Bururu, revive back the Doyon, make the Dark Templar. Even though it's a Link 3, you still need 3 monsters with different names. It's kind of like the S-Force Link 3 monster. It's kind of unfortunate. Would have been nice if Splash Mage could just revive one monster and then you can make it. But it is what it is. Alright, AI Land is going to be summoning Picari, and now you're going to be going for Dark Infant. Chainlink 1, Dark Templar, which is a soul charge for monsters to a zone it points to. Well, 3 zones. And Dark Infant is a quick effect that allows it to move to an adjacent zone. So you always have to summon your Dark Templar here, because Dark Infant points to the left. So you're going to be able to move it either to the left or to the right. Sorry, it actually has to be to a zone it points to. So you're going to be summoning it, well, placing it here, which means that the Dark Templar can revive back 3 monsters instead of only 2. And on top of that, Dark Infant is going to be changing its attribute to Divine so that you can easily make a big towers with like 6 materials or something, or at least 5 or 4, whatever. Well, maybe not 5, but you get the point. Anyways, you can now make the Mathmech monster using the Picari as well as the Doyon, because they just happen to be level 4s, and you can of course search for your Mathmech Circular now. It's going to be special summoning itself by sending the Nabla, and now you're going to be going for the effect of Nabla in order to make the Dark Templar attack twice if you want to, because Dark Templar also has an effect to revive back a Cyber's monster from your graveyard when it destroys a monster upon controls by battle, but it's once per turn, so even if your Nabla makes it attack twice, it really doesn't matter. And you're going to be using the effect of Alambertian, tribute itself, revive back the Nabla, search the Super Factorial with the Circular, use the effect of, well, not yet actually, you can go for Midnight Eagle first, and now use the effect of Mathmech Nabla, tribute the Dark Infant, summon Sigma or Addition or Subtraction, doesn't really matter. If you don't want to, you can also not play Sigma, but the card is kind of insane. You have to play one. And now I'll be going for Masquerena, set the Super Factorial and pass turn here. So that's actually a really nasty board. It's a lot of interruptions on your opponent's turn. You're gonna understand why soon enough. End phase, we take 23, which, and time has been called. No, I'm just kidding. You can kind of circumvent that by normal summoning the monster that you search with it, but it's only really relevant if you're searching Achiba. It depends, but whatever. So on your opponent's turn, you have a bunch of interruptions, like I said. So your opponent activates a spell, has a card in hand, a monster on field. You can go Super Factorial, revive back your 3 Mathmech monsters, and now go for the Laplacian, which is kind of like a Trishula. So detach 3 materials, make my opponent lose a bunch of cards. And of course, you're also triggering the effect of Dark Templar. So I think you can easily understand where this is going. We have... this is crazy, man. We have Midnight Eagle, which... Early... Oh my god, not Eagle. I'm so stupid. Which is a monster effect negator whenever we use the effect of a monster it points to. So you can go IP Masquerena and then chain Pit Knight early, negate a monster your opponent controls, and also change its attack to 0 so that your opponent can't really jump over anything. And also go IP Masquerena, Link 4 for like Appaloosa or Underworld Goddess. Or go for the Arrival Cybers. And we also have the Dunmari in the graveyard. So that's big interruption with the Laplacian, a negate with the Pit Knight early, the big towers, as well as an Omni negate in the form of Dunmari in the graveyard. All of that with just one single card, which is really good. And again, your OTK is, your follow-up is going to be OTK because you have the When I First Met You, you have a lot of cards in the grave, you still have the Doyon, you can link it off or something, and then trigger Dark Templar again. It's absolutely disgusting. Alright, combo number 2 is basically very similar, but this time we actually hard drew the Doshin, and we drew the Achichi instead of Pikari, but it really doesn't matter. So search for the Pikari, and then go Field Spell, summon it, and then you're going to be, of course, searching the When I First Met You. This time trying to search the Doyon instead. So, yeah, it still ends up being the same. And I'll go for the Wicked, Shilling 1, Shilling 2, going to be searching for the Boruru, which is basically the only monster that this can really search in theory. You can search for the Diameter, but, whatever. Alright, so you're going to be recycling back the When I First Met You with Doyon. This is just free real estate, especially when you're recycling back the Monster Reborn. It's even nastier because the Monster Reborn revives back the Doyon, which recycles back a Cybers, and then when you link it off, you recycle back the Monster Reborn, which recycles back the card that recycles back. You get where I'm trying to go. It's basically an infinite loop of resources when you got that cycle going. It's very similar to the Altergeist Silkwiltis and Manifestation loop, where it's always the same thing, where you get to bounce back a card your opponent controls without really wasting a resource every single turn. And of course, if you have Multi-Faker, then you're always looping the same thing. Summon a bunch of monsters, you have spoofing, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, this hand was able to make the 6k towers because we had Doshin, so the Earth attribute, and then you always have Fire, Dark, Wind, Light, and Divine in the form of the Dark Infant. So you need 6 monsters in order to make the Arrival Cybers, which is a lot, but still relatively doable. And of course, we still have the Super Factorial, which is absolutely freaking fantastic. So this board, a lot of decks can't really deal with that. And it's only a 2-card combo as well. So if you're playing against anyone that is, you know, his biggest monster would be like the Access Code Talker, it only gets to 53. So it will not jump over the Arrival Cybers. You still lose to Underworld Goddess, but thanks to Super Factorial, you can make it a little harder for your opponent to get there, and you still have 3 other cards in your hand to prevent your opponent from, you know, being able to summon Link 4 worth of monsters on the field. Yeah, that's it for this combo. Let's get into the next one. So even if you don't draw any Adagnister monsters, you can still get your Adagnister engine started just with your Mathmech cards. It's really cool. So Circular going to be sending the Sigma, and then Revive itself, search for the Super Factorial. And now you go for either the addition or subtraction, doesn't really matter. Go for the Alambertian, detach 3 materials, search any level 4 monster from your deck to your hand. So then at this point you would be searching Pikari, which is the only starter for Adagnister, that is level 4. Achichi is the other starter, however it's level 2. So yeah, searching the Pikari is what you're trying to do here. And it works out anyways. So yeah, go for the Wicked, and then special summon the Achichi, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Going to be searching for the Doyon, and now for the Boruru as well. Going to be linking up for Splash Mage. Special summon the Boruru, and then going to be foolishing for the Doshin, because this is how we can get to the Link 6 monster. Make the Wind Pegasus, revive back the Pikari, and then go for the Dark Templar, special summon the Doyon. Go for, well, recycle back the Doshin, and now go for the Dark Infant. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, recycle back your normal spell card as well. Jesus, what's going on with me? Yeah, Soul Charge is freaking insane, man. Imagine when you can go for it every single turn. It's ridiculous. And now go for the big Link 6 monster with Super Factorial as well. So it's basically the same thing as the combo I just showed you before, but without a single Adagnister monster in my opening hand. So yeah, the world is absolutely your oyster, and you also have Silent Mining, so the deck is super consistent. You always have what you need to get your stuff going. Alright, so this is the 4th and final combo, and if you managed to stick all the way through, you know, this part of the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Friendly reminder, of course, to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And now let's proceed. So I do have the unfortunate Dunmari break in my hand, but the rest of my hand is definitely playable. So Pikari with the addition, the Idol Reborn, Ash, whatever. I have to play through an Ash though, and my opponent's hand is also relatively good. so I'm gonna have to play this out carefully. The When I First Met You is going to be hit by Ash, but that's fine. I can still play the game a little bit. So summon the Addition, go for the Alambertian, detach 2, search for the Circular. That's always what you're really trying to be going for. Send the Nabla, and then going to be going for Alambertian. Summon the, trigger the Circular to search the Superfactorial. Summon the Sigma from the deck. And now go for Cyber's Wicked, revive back the Picari. Going to be using its effects, so search Boruru. And now go for the Dark Infant, search the Field Spell, and this is where it gets really crafty. So go for Splash Mage, Field Spell, summon the Boruru, and now send the Achichi, because, well, Doyon actually, because we can recycle it back and do something very interesting that you're going to be noticing soon. So yeah, obviously go for Wind Pegasus, revive back the Doyon. This time the effect is non-negated, so you can trigger its effect, recycle back the Picari, and now recycle back the Monster Reborn again. Summon the Picari, go for the Dark Infant, Shilling 1, Shilling 2. It really didn't matter that we never had access to Achichi because of the cool interaction with where Boruru allows you to send something that will be relevant. Now, even though we're only making Link 6 monster with 4k attack, it's still going to be enough. And yeah, my opponent is resolving Pot of Prosperity, getting a bunch of cards that won't really matter too much because against Splight, sometimes all you really have to do is just stop the normal summon and you kind of just win the game. And because of Prosperity, my opponent can no longer draw cards with triple Tactic Talents. So that's kind of a bummer for him. Go for the Laplacian, make him lose like 3 cards. Well, 2 cards because there's no spell and shop on my opponent's field. And now triple Tactic Talents can only steal a monster, but that wouldn't really achieve anything because this is unaffected by card effects. And the other monsters are just not really of any relevance. And I have the follow-up in the form of Idol Reborn, so I'm just gonna win. And the Splight deck is sometimes very, very weak to anything where your normal summon gets stopped. So that's pretty much it for this combo video. Let me know your thoughts about this deck in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.